I'm going to talk about Mongoose Publishing for a moment. Now, I know many of you may not even know what they are, but stick with me for a minute. Mongoose Publishing started in 2001. They started as a D20 publisher, to be honest. They were producing stuff for the D20 boom. After the crash came, they transitioned into other things. They produced a Conan game. For a while there, they were publishing RuneQuest before it went back to Chaosium. They also got involved with Traveller, and they've leaned pretty heavily into Traveller. Traveller is one of the oldest role-playing games out there. It's almost as old as D&D. It's a science fiction role-playing game. It's gone through several editions. They even have their own version of an editions war. It's a whole thing. But the originator of Traveller, Mark Miller, recently sold the rights, the final rights to it, to Mongoose. So they're publishing Traveller and Traveller 2300, which was a spin-off that the company GDW published. GDW was Game Design Workshop, and they were, like I said, they published Traveller, and they were pretty successful. They also published a bunch of other games that I find myself wondering how many of them Mongoose is going to go after. Because, like I said, they got Traveller 2300. These are games with very interesting histories. But they also picked up Dark Conspiracy recently, which is another GDW game. And if you're wondering what Dark Conspiracy is, it's a role-playing game that came out in the 90s, and it's very 90s. And not many of you will have heard of it. Many of the people who will have heard of it will remember the very stylish, very 90s Larry Elmore cover. It was a dark future where people lived in mega cities and, monsters lived in the dark. It was a very, very 90s game, honestly. But they recently bought that too. So I find myself wondering, is Mongoose Publishing just going to pick up the entire catalog of GDW stuff? Because I'd like to see Cadillacs and Dinosaurs re-enter print. I would like to see that again.